Hi guys, welcome to Bemeism, where I speak about everything that's spiritual and also that can be very depressing, to the point of, does depression make way for your own spirituality? So tonight we're going to be talking about, did you feel the shift? So we'll just wait for people to come in, and but that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. There's been a shift. Everyone may have felt the shift. Something may have happened to you. Maybe you felt how it went for you, because I know a lot of people sort of felt a little bit uneasy about the shift. All right, so we're loud and clear now. So I should begin again. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Bemeism, where I try to teach you that there is another way. There's another way through the dramas of life. Is there meaning and purpose to life? Can we look at things in a completely different way? But most importantly, what I teach is about transformation. Can we transform the way that we are, the way that we've been led to believe that we are? And of course, as everyone knows, there's been a big shift in energy, right? So energy is the way forward. Everybody's feeling energy. Everybody seems to want to know there must be a change coming. But there was a big shift a few days ago. So we just let people come in, join the chat before I get into it. Otherwise, everybody misses the beginning of the show. How's everyone been? Everyone been good? Getting through life? Waiting for the summer. We're always waiting for the summer in the UK. Doesn't really come. I must give up that little vision of mine. But right, everyone's in. Hi, Double E. Hi, Harry. Hi Trev, hope everyone's doing well. Hopefully we're going to find out. Let's see how many people turn up. We've got Princess Dinglin. I believe you're new, so welcome to the show. Blessed to be here, Trevor. Thank you very much. So again, let's it's hard when you're waiting for people to come in, because I don't really want anybody to miss the beginning, because when I start communicating, sometimes I don't know what I'm going to say. I just do allow my higher self to come in and speak about things. I've no script, I've no idea of where any of this is going. That's why I like to call it interactive. It's getting the people, you, me, to understand the community that is being built. So I'm here for you to answer some questions, and each topic that I bring to the show, of course, it doesn't have to stay completely on that topic. It will diverse and digress into something else. But it's all about wisdom, knowledge, experience, how to balance the mind and the emotions. Is the soul's journey real? So quite varied, really. And this is the interesting thing about transformation. This is something that you don't sort of know that you're going to become. And in the transformation, you just become more than you was. So can we change? What is it that we need to change? And as I said, the big shift that happened, that should have been a question in your mind where you were sort of saying to yourself, enough's enough. I can't keep going through this. And then you look at it and you sort of think, well, what is it that I keep going through? Well, whatever that feeling is that you keep going through, there should have been a shift there that got you to say, aha. I've noticed again, I just go off track there. I've noticed in the comments that a lot of people are saying, aha. So I think we'll get into the ha-ha moment, the ha-ha beaming, because that's what it's all about. So the shift should have been a ha-ha moment. And a ha-ha moment comes in when you look at something within yourself and you think, why can't I shift that energy? What on earth is it that's kind of holding me back? And then you look at it and you think, oh my God, that's been going on for a long time. And you've got to be really careful as you evolve, because sometimes you don't really know that you're evolving, because Monday turns into Tuesday. It's as simple as that. So I teach understanding that every now and again you've got to stop and sort of say, hold up a minute, let's just reassess what's going on. Because if not, what ends up happening, is that you end up carrying on the same energy, which gives you the same feeling. And 9 times out of 10, because of the strange feeling and the strange energy, you're going to ask yourself the same question. So you may be asking something like, you know, why can't I find love within myself, right? Why don't I understand myself? Why can't I feel at peace with myself? Whatever your question is, and whatever it is that you're seeking in your journey, whatever it is that you're wanting to learn, or whatever it is that you believe your soul is pulling you towards, you have to sort of get to this point where, how much of it have you been stopping yourself? Say, like, for instance, there's things you know that you should be doing, but you tell yourself that you can't do them, that it won't happen, I can't do that. How many times in your life, even though you've evolved, you could still be going over the same feeling, the same question, and then you'll say to yourself, I've not got nowhere. I just feel like the same. Nothing's changed. No matter what I do, nothing's changed. So what you have to do, as I said, seconds turn into minutes, turn into hours, turn into days, weeks, months. Before you know it, it's years, it's decades. And you've been carrying this energy that's always got you in a position where you say, oh, I can't do that, or I can't become that, or that'll never happen. I won't be able to achieve that. But if you look at your journey 10 years ago, where was you then? What was you kind of thinking then? And then springboard back to where you are now and sort of see where you are on your sort of journey as you've evolved. But is that question still in there that you had 10 years ago? Could be 20 years ago. I'm going to go out of shot now. 30 years ago. Is it the same feeling? Because what I realised is on what we call the spiritual journey, the journey of transformation, discover the true self, the ultimate that you're truly looking for is a feeling. Throughout all of our lives, we have searched and felt our way through life with a feeling. Does it feel right or does it feel wrong? And so therefore, whatever your idea of evolving as a soul, or whatever your idea of what it means to love oneself, or whatever idea it is to discover your own naturalness or your gifts of healing, just look back and sort of say to yourself, have I healed myself more than what I was way back then? So hopefully your answer is definitely going to be a yes. But you didn't realise, because Monday turned into Tuesday, into Wednesday, Thursday, and before you know it, you're still in the same position. Nothing's happened. Let's go back again. What was you like when you was like 20 years ago? What was you talking about then? What was you seeking? What was you searching for? What was missing? Come back, come forward. Did you discover the answers and the reasons and the meanings? Did you achieve all of them things that you said back then? So what you're doing, you've got to gauge yourself from where you came from to where you are, not trying to gauge yourself on, well, I think it's going to be like this. So if I hear people turn around and say, you know, I'm trying to be more loving with myself, right? I'm trying to understand, to be more, whatever your question is, more whatever, you decide. But you have to ask yourself as well, when is enough, because to love yourself more, or to get to that feeling where you got this feeling of like, wow, that's a really beautiful feeling, that feels really, really nice. Well, how do we achieve that? Ultimately, I'll give you the answer. You've got to clear this lot out. Once you clear whatever this is that's holding you back, you become that anyway. So you look at yourself and say, God, I just, in spirituality, I wish I was more loving. So then you've got to look at it and say, well, okay, well, in my human self, well, I've not been loving. I didn't come from loving, so I don't know how to love. So that's okay. But whatever your interpretation is, how far have you painted it away from how far you can transform it? Because you could transform it within a second, because if you came from no love and your family really hasn't got any love, and you're at a place where you can say, well, I'm more loving than them, you've already transformed. So now you've got to take the foot off your own head. So you have to represent each shift, because there's always a shift in energy. There's always a shift in understanding your body. There's always a shift in understanding when a question that you've had has been answered, which means you may have forgotten about the question that you had, and then all of a sudden you feel there's something happening in the body and something's been answered, and then all of a sudden you go, oh my God, that's the question that I put out, and that's just been answered. It takes time, and you have to be really aware of understanding the messages, because as you grow, you will start to understand that everything is being played out in front of you. Your answers to your questions are being played out in front of you. And your answers are always gauged upon your understanding on the outside world of what's going on. And once you get to a point where you've identified what you're seeing and the body then believes that to be correct, then you get that ha-ha moment. So for me, my heart, say for instance, if I looked at life and I thought, there's no point to life, it's just pointless. But then when I got that ha-ha moment that went, oh, hold up here a minute, there is meaning and there is purpose to this life. And of course that began the journey of Bemeism. And Bemeism really, again, there's many aspects behind Bemeism, because it's all of you. It's all of me. It says everything about me. It understands everything about me. But the problem is we don't understand it. Because when you go to the point that you are absolute intelligent consciousness, and this body is just running off pure intelligence, and then you get to the point of how have you used this supreme intelligence that is beyond anything we can understand. So connecting into that intelligence alone completely outweighs being called a human being. As you've heard me say, human being's going to kill you, and it will kill you. If we get rid of that title and we go in with the, well, this is a Beme, as I've said to you, but that Beme is that you are connecting in beyond and past the human conditioning that you've been built with, that's gained who you are, and now you're at that point in that journey where you're trying to undo who you are not, to hopefully rediscover the true self, as I have done. It seems a difficult journey, but the Beme steps and the way that I speak about it gives you the opportunity to sort of fast track through that journey, because if no one tells you about really what the journey is feeling like, then how do you know where you are? You won't know if any of this is happening for a real good reason. You'll just see it as a total breakdown. You'll just see it as, that's it, it's over. How am I going to get out of this? There's no way out. And so therefore, you know, Bemeism is in all of us. You know, your divinity is running through your veins. It's the intelligence, it's the consciousness that's connected to consciousness that's keeping everything going. And then, of course, we've got the human programming, and we just fill it up with rubbish, poison. That's what we do, we fill it up with poison. So when we get to the point of understanding healing, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get rid of the poison that's been stopping you from being the true self, even if it is just a feeling. Doesn't have to be about enlightenment. It doesn't have to be about being what you call spiritual. It's just about understanding oneself, to feel good with oneself, and then realizing that that's the gift. You are the gift. It doesn't matter about any other title that we give ourselves. The gift of just you alone in 3 letters is very good. It's the best gift. But of course we want different identities, and of course the human has given us many, many separate identities to who we are, which means it takes you further and further and further away from your true essence and your true source of who you are. For me, Bemeism sits there, Hembaci and Bemeism sits up top, then it comes down Hembaci, then it comes down to Be Me, and I press that, and out pops out the word human on the triangle, on the pyramid. Press that, out pops the human, and all these identities, these identifications of who we are. So you're trying to get to the point of where you're climbing this ladder, you're climbing this pyramid. That's why the pyramids were such an important shape. We're always climbing for something. It's like climbing up the chakras to try and reach a certain point within your journey that you can understand some form of intelligence. But what you've got to realize is that you are intelligence. You're pure intelligence. Everyone is pure intelligence. So it's not about trying to gain intelligence. It's taking out the programming that's made you feel like you're just not worthy of doing anything. Get rid of that, up we go. So a lot of people, I did it myself, so I know what I'm saying, where it's like, oh, maybe I'm spiritual, maybe I have to go to India, maybe I have to, I don't know, find a white fluffy cloud or a Bodhi tree and sit under that and meditate for months on end. Maybe it's about wearing beads, maybe it's Tibetan bells, maybe it's tarot cards, maybe it's crystals, maybe it's drumming, whatever it is. We've got all these ideas about what it seems to be when we sort of go spiritual, but what you're truly looking for is the specialness. And you're looking for your intuitive self to be able to connect oneself, because what's missing and what's been severed really, you know, people search for happiness, but is it really happiness? Or would the correct word be connectedness? To feel connected. Do you think that would override that feeling of happiness? I know if you felt connected, you would go, oh God, I'm happy about that. But if you really delve in to where you are, or what's been going on throughout your life and how you thought about it, did you feel, or do you feel disconnected? Because back in the day, there was a big shift. And I think a lot of people just literally got disconnected completely. I felt like my strings had been cut, which meant whatever I had left in whatever form of spirituality, connection, or spirit cord that was connected, or faith, or whatever it was that I had, I just felt that there was a complete connection to it, and I just fell to the floor, and I just thought, what on earth? I feel like I've just been cut off. I've just been, what's gone on? So I don't know if a lot of people felt it, but it would have had to have happened, because they would have been the people that went, hold up here a minute, that's not right, something's gone on, and that begins the search. And what you're doing in actual fact was that you had some form of connection. It could have been when you were 7. Could be any age that you had a certain part of you where you just felt it was good, you just felt it was right, you felt it was you, and you felt in tune, you felt at home, and then there you go. Total opposite, a disconnection. So did that happen to you? Because I searched to try to be reconnected to something that I didn't have a clue on reconnecting with what. All I know is that I lost something about myself and I wanted to get it back. And I tried to get it back, and it was very hard to get it back. I couldn't get it back. That was made difficult because the reason being was the words I was searching for to try and understand, well, that's gone. That's in the past. That was just that story. That was just them. But we've all been left with these great moments. They could be mystical moments where it's like, wow, there's a ha-ha moment in there. You get a truly mystical moment. It just, well, your body just tingles with excitement. It's confused in one set. Your brain is confused, your mind is confused, but your body's almost like rejoicing in joy, as if say, hello, you know, yippee. So it's a weird one. So you're always kind of working between the two energies. That's what it's always been about. So in this duality of life, if we look at the two components, it's material or it's spiritual. That's the two components, right? And then the rest of the different identities. But all classed around being a human being. So I still look at it and I still bring to the table that this. Spiritual teachers, spiritual people, people that have had NDEs, people that know about masters, people know about scriptures, the Dalai Lamas, the Buddhisms, the whole kit and caboodle, right? They've got this great big spiritual wealth of knowledge, it seems, right? But they're teaching from a human aspect. And they're teaching humans to be humans in some sense, which means they're teaching the human to become a more peaceful human. They're teaching the human to believe in something that's somewhere else. They're teaching human beings to sit in meditation for a long time and play with some prayer beads and keep praying to whoever it is that you're sort of praying to. But when I stop and look at it, and I look at my work, and my God, it's crazy in itself, you know, talking about be me being. But when I see that these great spiritual teachers are just, when you stop and really delve into it, they're just teaching you to be a human, because the human story that you had, it just didn't feel right, it just didn't sound right, it wasn't good. So your soul leads you off and you go into this spiritual place, and you can sit there and you can listen to somebody recite some scriptures, probably from way, 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 way back. But if we change the identity, which is what I seem to be doing in my journey, is changing the identity, then it's not about me trying to find the wisdom of what spirituality means. What I'm trying to really find out is I need to discover who I am, and I need to discover what my story's really been about so that I understand it. So truly and honestly, it's not to, you know, I brought the Be Me to help you with that, you know, so you can gauge yourself between the human story and the Be Me story. Because that's what was happening to me. Like, one foot in this world, one foot in that world, and I was stepping in between the two. And then I didn't know which one was real. So the choice that was coming, it's like, what one am I? You know, am I still holding on to this, or I got to let go and start to become this? But that's what I did, and it took time, it took a long time, and you'll find it'll happen to you maybe as well. Taking time to shift to the new identity, or to the new software that's been uploaded, you know, from your DNA. Because that's the most important thing. When we talk about spirituality being intelligence, and there was a question that was on one of the YouTubes. I said if the question was on there, I'd answer it. But, you know, we're talking about the third eye. Can I talk about the third eye? Well, there's many ideas behind what is the third eye. And, of course, we have this vision of there is this eye here, and for some reason we can see into different worlds, maybe. And of course, we all know that it's coming from the pineal gland, which is basically inside the middle of the skull. It's kind of really nothing here to do here, other than it will transmit an energy or an image to the front lobal part of your brain to create a vision. And so therefore, when I sort of listen to, you know, connecting into the third eye, it's, wow, it offers an opportunity, it offers an array of ideas, doesn't it, of what does it mean, and who truly knows what it means, can it be done, and everyone's got these kind of different ideas. And it's like, I think if you go to the original shaman, I'm sure someone's going to put me wrong or right here, but when you go to the original shaman, a shaman didn't become a shaman because it felt like one day it woke up and went, oh, I think I'm going to be a shaman today. A shaman was chosen by its ancestors. And so therefore, what would be happening to that person? He would go into that, what you call the dark night of soul, start to lose himself, don't know who he is and everything else, go through these strange things, the visions, the dreams, the nightmares, and all of these things. Now, to us in the West, that's called you've gone mad. But of course, when you look at these people that come from that shamanic world, they would see that that truly is a birthing healer. And what's happening is he's being transformed and he's connecting in with the ancestors. And so therefore he becomes a shaman to the village. So he becomes the wise one to the village. So that person gets chosen, I believe, and then they go through that story and then they just become. So I don't know where I was going with that story now, but to me, it's everyone's got their reasons of who's becoming what and how they're becoming. And again, it's very difficult in transformation. When you start transforming, it's very hard to tell anyone. No one's really interested anyway. But it is about that. It's about pure transformation. And the transformations always come with a shift. When you feel a shift. If you have a walk-in, that's a shift. Third eye. Back on it. The third eye for me, my version, it might work out for somebody else's, I don't know. But for me, what it was, for me, when I connected with my third eye, even though I was a medium, even though I was a channeler, even though I could see spirits, even though I could see some really strange things, you could possibly turn around and say that that was my third eye that had opened. So in some aspects of that, I could basically turn around and say, that's pretty scary. Because you're sitting there and then all of a sudden something else happens. I mean, that's enough to sort of make you feel like you're going mad anyway. And then when you start seeing ghosts everywhere, then you're doubly thinking that you're going mad now, because what is it I've opened up? Well, of course, we've opened up that portal, we've opened up that dimension, and of course now we're starting to see in a different dimension. So your awareness has become attuned, and the reason why it happens is as you start to leave away from your human heaviness of lead, let's say, as you're moving away from that, these skills just become your natural birthright. It's your intelligence. It knows all of this stuff. It's the human cell that said, no, you don't know that, because I questioned it when I was going through it. I thought, shit, I didn't learn this, and I didn't even think I was going to be doing this, so how on earth is this really happening? But the more I was going through my journey and I was getting rid of some of this pain, this personality, everything I needed to change, them senses start to happen. As I said to you, to get up to the pyramid, you get rid of this and you just elevate up to the pyramid. And so therefore the third eye for me was like quite scary in some sense, because you can even see into the demonic world as well. So there's many things that happen on that. But what I truly, and of course they are gifts, and I'm not knocking it, but it still was something that I felt that there should be more behind, opening up that third eye. And that for me was truly getting in with my own intelligence. I think once you connect into that pineal gland, the seat of the soul, or whatever they call it, and the Egyptians well believed it way, way back before we knew about it. So does it happen? But I think for me, it's that deep search. It's kind of got a deep whisper to it, and it's as if it communicates to the emotions in it. It's got that moment that says, come and find me, and once you find me, that's it, you've opened up the gold, You've become who you've been seeking. So that's the difference. You become who you are seeking. And so there for me, it was intelligence. I needed to get in connection to my own intelligence by using the third eye to communicate with the intelligence and that consciousness that knew me, that was working through me, that I didn't know. So therefore, I was using that third eye on completely scanning my journey, scanning my body, scanning where was energy present, scanning how would I get out of that, what's the remedy for that, what's the intelligence that's given me the idea or the teachings that says, okay, let's look at it like this way, let's get in control, let's start commanding the body to work together as a partnership. So the third eye is really, honestly, when I believe more so that it turns back on the self. And again, that can even take you into the dark night of the soul, because you've opened that third eye, and it's saying, right, take a real good look at yourself. And you'll look at it and you think, oh God, I don't like that. And so therefore, that truly can begin the dark night of the soul. And then that takes you through this journey where you completely lose yourself, because you've opened up that portal. But I would go for the loving of self in the third eye. You want messages. You want your consciousness, you want your authentic self to teach you how to heal yourself, how to understand yourself, how to balance your mind, how to understand literally every part of yourself. And it takes you through different journeys. You'll go through the emotional journey, you'll go through the mental journey, you'll go through the what have I said? Emotional, spiritual, mental journey, emotional journey. And then it will also take you through your own spiritual journey, because, I still believe that spiritual journey is very much a oneness. And I still believe it's very personal, and that's Be Me. Be Me is personal. So it's personal to me as it is to being you. That's your precious moment. That's the very thing you should guard with your life, And over the years, we have allowed others to control that. And so for getting in connection, which for me was becoming mindfully empty, that was the Be Me for me. But you have to earn it as you go up, because the more empty that you become, the more you empty your emotions and your ego and understand your experience, the more your visions become clear about who you are. And of course, that's where a source of a lot of my information come from. And I use that energy as well when I'm sort of doing healing, because I'm connecting in not to something that's out there, or a set of crystals or anything. It doesn't need anything. It's just having this awareness that your body truly is a magnificent instrument, and its intelligence is way beyond, and it's just lovely to have a part of that. But the thing is that you're all of it. And they say that they've created, talk about AI, they've got these computers that they've created, but there's not a computer on the planet that's anywhere near what this system is doing. But here's the problem, see, that computer was going to make everybody look stupid. And we say, oh my God, that computer, that AI is intelligent. But the only intelligence that's gone in that is what people have given it in the first place, as it's gauged all of us that are supposedly meant to be intelligent. It will never do it. So where humanity is left in this place, it's like, that's the ultimate, you're just intelligent. You're not divinely connected. You can't do no healing, and you won't understand yourself, and you'll stay confused for the rest of your life. So that to me is what we've been fed that makes us unintelligent. And so therefore, when you try to understand the shift in your own intelligence, that comes when you've gotten through a lot of things, and then that intelligence starts to speak with you, and it teaches you. And that's what I say, in the mind, in the first part of the story, and the human story, it wants to kill you off, and you think, what? Well, no, let's get this right. The first part of your story is all about your wants. You go, you get, you hurt, you fall, you get up, you go again, you try to be successful, you try to do all the things you want, you fall into that darkness, you don't know where you are, so there's the cocoon of transformation. And then you come out as that butterfly. And someone mentioned it about being the butterfly, still feels a bit fragile. So just to answer that text comment that you put in on the last YouTube, you will feel fragile. Because even the nature of a butterfly, it's been completely transformed, as we know. It comes out and it has to spend a certain amount of time to adjust and strengthen its wings before it can fly. So that is the answer. You will feel fragile. I felt totally fragile, totally unbeknowing, totally open. I felt totally, it's like as if I'd gone out into the street completely naked sort of thing. It's just, I felt, oh dear, it was a real strange feeling sort of thing. But as you get adjusted to it, you've got to realise that the butterfly story is the beginning of the story. And it's not the end of or do all, you know, it's like, oh, I've got through that and now it's this. No, it's an ending to a beginning, and that beginning now has got to be trod. That's it now. You follow the way of the butterfly. So I can't remember who put that out there, but yeah, someone said about the 3 stages of life, and there is 3 stages. And again, that's what I love about, you know, the power of 3, body, mind, energy. You are just 3 things. And when you do the healing journey, you're really trying to understand a lot of things. I know, I tried it. And, but it wasn't to my higher self, my third eye opening self was teaching me that it's like, listen, it's not difficult if you understand it like this. And so therefore, I had all their messages and then I had to learn it, as I said to you. But when you look at the truths of the power of who you are, what you are, just in the 3 letters, I mean, that's where your story begins. And this is how it began for me. Right, okay, so let's introduce some people. So welcome to the show, everyone. Hi, Zippy. Dear land, I am so ready for summer. This snow is crazy. I'll grant you that. We haven't had the snow, but I'm definitely looking for summer. People and weather, says Dino. Hi, Dino. Hi, Chris. It's been a bitch, brother. I'm hanging in there. Ellie Wynn says, hi, Trevor. Hi, Ellie. Lovely to see you. Charlie's here. My solar plexus has been out of whack. What is causing that? It's planetary. That's why it's called a solar plexus. And it's the source of all energy. It's where we sense everything when we stop and look at it. Everything is fed into the solar plexus. So you could look at your whole system as being a set of planets, right? Called your chakra systems. As I said, there has been a shift over the last 3 or 4 days. And there should have been that moment, and you're right, to have felt a solar plexus thing. It's what I said earlier on in the show. I don't know if you heard it, but it's a feeling that you've had for a long time, and now it's making itself known. And you could be asking yourself, no, what is that about? I thought I got rid of this. I thought I understood this. So hopefully go back to the beginning of the show, or you was here in the beginning, but it was all about recognizing how far you have grown, but still believing and thinking that you haven't. And so therefore sometimes you have to take stock and go, yeah, hold up a minute. 5 years ago I was acting like that, behaving like that, and I didn't discover that. Come 4 or 5 years ago, oh my God, I've achieved quite a lot. So it was about talking about Monday turns into Tuesday. So in your solar plexus, your solar, all connections that's coming in, there is something in there, and that's that feeling. It's like a pulse sometimes. I used to see it like it was like a radar, you know, in a submarine, and or up in a plane, and you know, they've got them circles, solar, and something comes into the energy, and you know, it senses it. We're no different from that. And so therefore your body is warning you of something, it is telling you of something, and it's reminding you of how many times you've actually felt that, because you've been out of whack. So that means you lost a lot of energy. And that's when you hear me say, you just got to let that simmer. You got to let that sit, because it's something that you didn't plan, you didn't put it in your calendar, it's happening. So you didn't cause it, so something is causing it. And again, to me, on a bigger picture of where we live, you know, we're just that little small part in that big picture. But that solar plexus, what I'm saying, I reckon that was up right, yeah, in the 3rd chakra point there. See, that's your last point of healing right there. And that feeling is the very feeling that you really want to master, because once you master that, you're then connecting to the 4th chakra, and you'll feel it and you'll sense it, and that will be a massive shift. So that's what you need to do. Right, vitality and willpower, says Double E. People draining your energy. People are draining your energy. The whole system's draining. You know, it drains all of us. It doesn't matter who you talk to. It doesn't matter what age they are. Everyone is feeling really drained. Charlie says, thank you, Double E. I need to put up a protection bubble. Chris says, it's getting worse, Trevor. I don't understand. I'm not doing good, and I'm trying not to go backwards. My mind is good, my situation medical is not, and then I'm trying to be me. when you sum the whole thing up, see, look how many separations you've put in there. You know, I don't understand. Right, you really just put a massive block there for the moment. Just playing with words. I'm just telling you what went on these last couple of days. Because that was kind of one of the questions that would have come out. It's like, there's something here, I'm just not getting it. There's something here I don't understand. Massive question mark. But ask yourself this, how many times through your life, go back, and at any given point, remember, ask your archives to come to the forefront, right? And look at yourself, you should see loads of moments where you went, I don't understand. See if that's right. I am not doing good. All right, so again, there's another, I understand it, I'm just pointing out something here. I am not doing good. I understand the feeling. They're the words you're going to use because it's representing something within you that's not doing good. And I'm trying not to go backwards. I should imagine that's what that is. I understand that as well as there is sometimes, listen, the healing journey is really much a backward journey because you don't want to go backwards. And I fought, really hard not to go backwards to understand certain things. But I realised that it's okay. It might be telling you to go backwards to a certain bit. Just go back a step here for the moment and see what he's saying. Because you've used these words before. I don't understand. I'm not doing good. And I don't want to go backwards. No one does. We all want to move forward. My mind is good. My situation medical is not good. So out of the body, mind and the energy, what's the ones that's doing it, right? But you say your mind is good. So the situation medical is not good. So then that's saying that the body is not good. And then what you're doing is that you're trying. So there comes in that word. It's a very strong word. Trying. But how about if we just changed all that and said to yourself, at this moment in time, I'm experiencing an experience I'm trying to understand. It's new. I don't know what to make of it. I'm scared about it. I don't know what the future brings. I don't know why I'm like this. But most importantly, I really am scared and I just don't like the feeling of it. But these words of I don't understand, and I've caught myself on that one. Trust me when I say that. I don't understand. It's like you're asking for more when you say you don't understand. Give it to me again. Give me more of what you said there. I don't understand. But see, that's where we've lost the power of who we are. And it's getting to the point of, so I'll say to you, why are you not doing good? So I'll give you that question and then you can answer, say, well, I'm not doing good because of, right? And I'm trying not to go backwards. So it's like, okay, so that needs to explain. But there is, sometimes I saw it as this, it was like 2 steps forward and I fell back. And I was like, well, I was disappointed. But then I thought to myself, well, hold up a minute. If I touched that base then, and then I fell back to this, then that was temporary. That was just a little jump in the story sort of thing that I felt good and then I felt back here. But the idea behind it is that I want to jump to that next point and stay there. So if you have to go back and have a look at something again, it's like, okay, let's have a look. Why did this happen? Same with the solar plexus. It's the same sort of thing. It's all being affected, right? So that's the healing. That's the spiritual nudge. That's the healer's nudge, that is. It's like, we just got to heal this, and it's in the ribs, I used to call it. Okay, tell me what it is that I need. So again, you're getting in communication with yourself. Right. Okay. Chris, then the money stops. Yep, I know that feeling. Zansu says, I will take that opportunity. Zippy says, the shedding is crazy. Then the becoming is crazy too. Yeah, becoming is crazy. Yeah, it's all crazy. But it is all crazy. Life is crazy. People are crazy. The system is crazy. The program is crazy. What we go through is crazy. in the mental illness, in the dark night of the soul and depression. It's crazy. And then trying to find yourself out at the other side of it, it's crazy. You've got to get to this point like I did. And I went, do you know what, Trev? It's good to be crazy. Because if you're just normal, then you're normal. If somebody calls me crazy, I go, I did it. Because it's great. It is crazy. Every part of the journey is crazy until it becomes the norm. But crazy is good. Crazy is exciting. Crazy is creative. It's inspirational. It takes you beyond limitations of what you thought you were. So it is about getting crazy. Look at my message. You're not a human being. How crazy do you want to go? Healing the self. How crazy do you want to go? Healing somebody else right in front of you. It's like, well, how crazy do you want to go? I think I'll always be called crazy, Oh, have you seen Trevor? He's the crazy one now. So yeah, let's get crazy. Bemeism is proper crazy. And crazy will lead you out from the sheep, because let's get crazy. We need crazy people. To spiritual crazy. Zippy, right. Under the star, babe. Increasing my vibration daily. Woohoo. Aha moment. Imogen, this is so helpful. I'm all ready. What am I looking for? Yes, you're already what you're searching for, looking for. Right. I searched for the person that could have my answers, unbeknowing that as I was searching, I was discovering answers. So I became the being that I was seeking, that I couldn't find. Does that make sense? So technically, I wrote the book that hopefully people will hope that was written, but hasn't been written yet, but maybe wish they could write it, but they need to read it, because it would be that moment they'd say, oh my God, that's gave me all my answers. That's what's missing. It's all about healers. It's all about healing. It's the biggest thing on the planet that says that we can't actually do it. It's a deep-rooted programming that's we really got to snap out of this whole human nonsense. Imogen says, this is so helpful. I'm already what am I looking for? I just have to let go of the nonsense I've collected and heaped on top of the real me. Yeah, it's exactly that. Or be me. Yes, you're be me self. Because the be me is the be me is your core. The be me is your empty house. You've just moved in. And then you fill it up with be me. So you've got your own space, rather than all the other stuff that's been given to you that's filled up your space. There's no you in there, So it's like you're filled up to the top here, and you need to empty out the boxes. And as you empty the boxes out of your darkened room, you start to see daylight. Oh my God, there's a window there, It's been so blocked up with all these boxes of protection called human being, because I'm just trying to be a good human being. No, you're not trying to be a good human being. Sod that. Blow that. You've got to find the real you that understands human beings. And that's the difference. You're trying to understand yourself. You're trying to reduce the level of yourself to get to the core of like, okay, I'm empty. Let's begin again. Back to the womb, out of the womb, start walking to the end of your days. So yeah, that's the real you. But be careful of the word real, right? Sometimes the real you, sometimes I have to look at it and go, okay, the real me. I mean, I can say to myself, I feel like that this is the real me, because it's more real than what I thought that it was. I thought my human story was real. And then, of course, the Dark Night of Soul, that really became real, to the point where I went, shit, I thought this only happened in Harry Potter. That, oh my God, this shit's real, So that was that experience sort of thing. So you collect the nonsense, but also the soul loves it. The soul had to gather up nonsense. It gathered itself up to the point where it was brimmed full to the brim. And then the soul pulls in the reins and says to the human self, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep feeding myself with this rubbish. This is life. Is this it? oh my God, let's end it now, because this is just a waste of a soul's journey. It's disgusting. It's horrible here. Can't wait to get off it. And that's why a lot of people say, I just want to go home, because what have they done? See? I've collected and heaped on top of the real me. Oh, just you. Just say how you want to feel. You. Don't be careful with that real. You are being real. You're being real. But it's the you that feels real, and not just the logo of get me bys or excuses or the confusion of, well, I don't know who I am. So the real you is basically to get to know yourself, and that's the power of Be Me. As you call yourself, thank you. Yes, it's the body, mind, energy. Your body, your mind, and your energy. Your body, your mind, and your energy. Get to know it. It's the gift. It's the power from the Creator. Zippy67, mine is wacky and all over the place, and I'm trying to balance, but SOS me days, sire. Is that supposed to be SOS me? Or is that, oh no, oh look at that. But SOS me. I know you've put that supposed to be some days. Oh, look at that. That's a Be Me sitting in there. SOS. S, not F. Save our sausages. There you go. Be Me. See, you've put this SOS sign out. But it should be SMS. Save my soul. You know, save my soul. That's what it's about. Yes. You're getting your wacky. You're going up and you're going down. You're going up and you're going down. That's what it sounds like to me. You know, that's what it is. You're all over the place. You've got to find that middle pathway. And I spoke about that many, many times. That was what one of the last videos was about, the balancing, the compass. It's finding that. Listen, I was wacky. I was crazy. Crazy. You got to be wacky, crazy, funky, trendy, laughable, wannable, livable, attachable, wannable. It's all about being and discovering your gifts. It's what we are. It's who we are. Slaves are awakening. Chris says, this just happened today, so I don't know. I have been put my place by the universe, and I don't know. I'm not mad, just a redirect. Okay, so it's just happened today. Just let it simmer. Just let it simmer, just let it sit, just let your body feel it, let it digest it, but don't put any title to it. That's what you may be a few days later to what I went through. Eternal bliss. What if I don't want to do that? What if you don't want to do that? Do what? Right, I don't know what the question to that is. Zensu says, still floating, thought of the day was trying to be present, which made me smile. See, I like the way she's put which made me smile because I saw an image of me walking around wrapped in gift paper with a bohemian flowers on it. Love the word bohemian. Great word. There you go. Be the gift. That's the thing. See, the human doesn't believe it's good enough. That's the truth of it. It really doesn't. And it's been told for centuries and centuries and centuries that you're just not good enough. You're damaged. You're injured. You're nobody. You're nothing. And it's really deep rooted. Your parents also said it. Kids at school may have said it. Teachers even said it. You know, I remember one of the teachers at my school, I must have been about 12, 13, and went, Mr. Isley, you've just got no heart. I went, yeah, I know. So that's what I was like. If a teacher says, you've got no heart. Yeah, right, okay. Look at me now, talking about the heart. The artist way. So crazy, isn't it? I should do a school reunion, find a teacher about me not having a heart. Under the star, babe. Everything is finally clicking. Journaling, affirmations, positive thinking. I share my journey on my channel. That's it. Just share your journey. It makes sense for everyone's. You know, sometimes we put out, we don't know who it's going to affect. But somebody will look at it and sort of say, do you know what, that's happening to me? And all we're looking for is answers that say, I'm going through something and I don't know what it is, but I need to find some answer. Can anybody help me out there? That's how it started for me. So that's what I teach. It wasn't out there. Zippy says, the dream was incredible. I woke up crying. Fantastic. Witchmaster says, 21 says, thoughts from darkness to light must be the best way to start. For every dark night must give way to a new golden dawn, but the light will arrive gradually, so give it time. It will do that. It's understanding the both, though. Once you understand the darkness of it, the light comes in closer. Because when you're in that real darkness, there's a point where it's like, wow, the light is right over there. But the more we start doing this, that target comes in closer. So that's why I say to people, you're not actually moving towards that light. But once we understand that darkness, this comes in closer. And then the two become the nothing. They become one. They become neutralized. And that's your golden break. That's your moment that says, thank God for that. The duality within me is stopped. And that was the moment where the arguments can stop, especially in a transformation when you're in that darkness and you're screaming for the light. You know, you truly do want the light to kind of help you out. I did that for a long time. But then when I understood that darkness, you earned the light and you realized that you was the light. But to really grasp it, you've got to do that work, because once you know it, then you know it and you shouldn't go through it again. Imogen says, happiness is finding my true self and loving it. Okay, so that's your challenge then. So your challenge is happiness is finding your true self and loving it. Okay, how much of that have you got? Because you could be saying, I'm not going to find happiness until I find my true self, and then I'll love it. Is that a different way of approaching that? Happiness is finding my true self and loving it. The connection seems to be between who I think I am now with my true self, which has been buried for so long. Yeah, it's been totally buried. And again, it's more of a reveal. You know, because your system is not filled with garbage, and it's just not filled with repetitive patterns, probably, on how you've been, what's gone on in your life. There's a vibration, there's a frequency that you feel. So what we're trying to feel, if we take words away, is that I would like to change the vibration that I feel, the feelings that I feel. So they don't have to come in that words. But if you truly found that happiness of where you are, if that's your goal word, if your goal word is to seek for happiness, then you'll tread that pathway. But what if you could gain happiness now? Then you would be that true self, wouldn't you? And you would be loving it. Let me know on that one. The connection seems to be between the two of you. You think, yeah, it is them two things. But again, you're going to gauge yourself. What's your level of degree of happiness? And what's your level of degree of what it means to truly love the self? And what would be your picture that you've painted within your head that sees yourself really loving it? So be careful of that and recess that and look at that, of what I've just said, rearrange it a little bit. But you can find your true self if you truly went into the form of what happiness is. So if you're looking for happiness and you're gaining for happiness, then you've got to understand, well, why am I unhappy? So I can keep searching for happiness, but it still hasn't worked out why I'm unhappy. If I understand unhappy, then don't I naturally become happy? So it's a neutralization again. Dark into the light, unhappiness to happiness. You know, feeling lost and confused to feeling enlightenment. You know, there's the difference. Feeling depressed, feeling very enlightened and expressing, the opposite to depression. So, oh yes, dark night of the soul is no joking matter. No, it's not. It's a very, very, it's a test of strength. And it's got the potentials of every avenue and every day of taking your life. It is a dangerous pathway to tread. I've never done anything as scary. I said, listen, I didn't set out to do that. It just happened, and didn't know what was going on. And so many people feel like that. But as I went through that journey and it started to open up and show me more, and it led me down this pathway of complete darkness. But oh my God, it's like scary. But then what was happening there was just like the cocoon. It's like there is a preparation. You're being stripped to you don't know who you are. And that's a very scary place. It's no joking matter at all. See, the funny thing is, before that happened, I was the joker. I got kicked out of school for being the joker. And I joked throughout all of my life, made people laugh. But then I got to the point that went, oh, hold up here a minute. My life is not a joke. And I've been looking upon it being a joke. And so therefore, there was a part of me that went, shit, I need to stop joking about here somewhere along the line, because this life is not a joke. This is really serious matter. And the more serious that we can kind of understand it, that's why when you go into that search of how serious spirituality is, to trying to discover what feels right, because the reason why you're trying to discover what feels right is because there's something that doesn't feel right. So what's the opposite? Well, we're looking for the fix that feels right. And if you get the right combination, you get the right word or you get the right sentence in your mind, you can feel a switch. That's the shift. When you've got something right, then you shift it. Right. Under the Star says, this is where you decide if you go on or, God forbid, quit. Don't ever give up. It is that point. It'll only be you that'll be judging yourself anyway. On your deathbed, you'll be looking at it and saying, God, I could have done more with that. I went through a lot of sort of saying, oh, I can't do this journey, it's too fearful. I can't tell the world they're not human beings. You're joking. I've got to take that humiliation. It's like, I'm not kind of doing that. But then I looked at that and I saw myself on my deathbed going, why didn't you do it? You know, and then you go into the spirit world and go, Trev, why didn't you deliver the message? Well, I feared what people were going to say. And they'd look at me and go, you fucking idiot. And so therefore, yes, it's a penance on your own achievement. So it can give you a little bit of a trip, that one. I laser focus on increasing my frequency. Be consistent. That's the secret. That's the secret. Live one vibrational energy. That's love. Chris says, Trevor, 100%. I meditated about my situation and it was answered within the hour. Not good information for my situation, but still an answer. But at least I knew what was going on with my income. All good, I guess. The pathway is set. The experience is in motion. Now we're waiting for an outcome of it. Because I always used to say to people, you know, you can go up to a door. Your mind will create something, and it'll lead you to a doorway. Because that's all been about feeling and thought at the moment. And you get to this doorway and it's like you open the door and that's where your thoughts and feelings have got you to. Then you have to step through that door and now you're going to experience the thought and the feeling. So you don't know what the thoughts and the feelings are going to be like until you go into the experience. All experience is the soul's journey. It's all meant to be, and it's how we read it afterwards and sort of say, okay, let's have a look at this now. Right, so, okay, which Master says, at least we have a ghost of a chance, better than none at all. Yeah, we've got a big chance. We're okay. Eternal Bliss says, no, but why should I lie to myself that I'm strong when I'm weak in my body and get bullied? I don't know who you're communicating with there, because I don't remember saying any of that, but why should I lie to myself? Do I answer that? Because I don't know where the question is on that one. I don't know who you're talking to. But no, but why should I lie to myself? See, that right there, see, that's what we've all been doing. We've all been lying to ourselves. Throughout all of our lives, we've been kidding ourselves. So yeah, you can't tell yourself that you're something when you know at that point in your journey that it's absolutely not true. You are in this place and there is something about that needs to be looked at. Why should I lie to myself that I am strong when I'm weak in my body and get bullied? Yes, you are weak in your body. A lot of people are weak. They do feel weak, but you're getting bullied. So I don't know where the bullying or that sort of come in, or what I mentioned, because what I speak, it just disappears. So let me know on that a little bit more. Right, okay. Eternal Bliss says, sacred. Why must everyone be so ignorant then? Doesn't seem otherwise, even with all that knowledge. Oh, right, at sacred. Oh, so that means you're talking to someone at sacred. Is that what? Oh, sacred beholder. Right, oh, right, you two are having a conversation. Right, okay, leave you with that. Let you get on. Came on the darkest hours just before the sun rises. Well, yeah, that's true. But again, it's just the saying. You still got to live it. You still got to understand it, because that's going to keep happening every day, isn't it? That. But it's understanding, when you rise. My channel at first, when I do the YouTube, it's called Rise Up, Be Me. So that's rising up. And for me, that was a revolutionary inner soul evolution, ultimate perception, body, mind, energy. Rise up, be me. So it's all about rising up, because we've been crawling around on the ground. We've been crawling around in the darkness. So, the true spirituality of ancient Egyptian was about the rising soul, the rising spirit. And that was the real meaning of what Christ meant. It meant the risen spirit, or the rising spirit. Hence, the Christ energy in the years to follow was he rose from death. But we're doing this. The human self is a death process that we need to let go of. And so many people are on it. Just millions upon millions. I was doing where people are so lost and confused and depressed. I mean, they're there. That's it. They just need the next bit now. Okay. The darkest hour is just before the sunrise. Is that eternal bliss? So God is in control of your misery. All right. So they're talking. So dragon. I finally let go of the past and the attachment to the emotions which kept me connected to a false sense of reality. Now I'm emerging into the unknown, and I'm ready for good emotions. Yes, that's exactly what it is. It is the attachment. It's a real weird one, because when you've been attached to an emotion for so long, it's become your relationship, it's become your energy, it's become who you are. And to sort of let go of a full sense of reality and an emotion that we've protected ourselves with, when you let that go, I spoke about it earlier on, when you let that go, there was a feeling of like, God, someone's let the door open and the wind's just come blowing in. You sense this feeling that you truly have walked in through another door, and it is unknown. I mean, when you look at your human story, it's, it can still be unknown. People do what they do unknowingly. So for me, Bemeism was like, I need to know the unknown, so that I can know who I am, so I can change the certain patterns that I seem to be fighting all the time. Right, Dewey had a question. Where was that then? Dewey had a question. Go up. Is that go up? Go up. Dewey had a question. Where are you, Dewey? Right, so yeah, all right. Meditation and breath work helps me clear the unhelpful. But I struggle to stay in my own energy when holding space for others. Any advice? I feel it's confidence related. Well, listen, you just answered yourself there. I feel it's confidence related. Confidence, gaining confidence, if you're doing healing and you're doing anything that is new, something that you've not done a lot of, something that you're just not feeling shit sure about, natural, then it can be a confidence thing. It takes a lot of confidence. But see, do you know how I use that word again? To me, I look at that and it says confidence. Do Americans say it like that? Confidence. Confidence. We say confidence here in the UK. So do Americans say confidence? So confidence and confidence is the same thing. But what I look at upon it, I look at that is about confiding within me, that whether or not it tells me I have confidence or not. And if I tell myself I don't confide with myself properly, there's a dense feeling. So it's in the word there, confidence. So there's a denseness in the feeling of confiding. What are you confiding? So that's when you're sort of wanting to stay in your energy and holding your space for others. But you must remember this, to be what you teach. And so therefore, there's your confidence. If you speak what you know as to being true, that's your confidence. For me, I say I can heal, that's my confidence. Whereas that took a lot for me to be able to get to that point where I can say that so naturally, whether it works or it doesn't. See, that's the thing. Don't put an outcome of failure. The intention is to be and is to do. So there's your confidence. It's the way you confide in yourself. Because when we used to do these surveys on TV, and it's like, oh, you know, confidence came up as number one problem on the planet, really. But when you kind of get to the bottom of it, it's this confidence thing is only given to somebody by their internal workings. There's not a lot of people that knock on your door and say, I'd like to knock on, knock on your door and go, I'd like to tell you, love, you've got no confidence. All right, have a nice day, jog on, But, there's not a lot of people that you'll meet that will say you've got no confidence, unless you're trying to share something and they'll say to you, oh, what you're lacking is confidence, which means you're lacking the knowing. You're lacking the experience. You're lacking the freedom of the knowing of it all. That will come. It all comes. But you've recognised your own thing in it. See, your meditation and your breath work helps you to clear the unhelpful, right? So the darkness there, not helping, you'll say. But I struggle to stay in my own energy. Don't struggle to stay in your own energy. See, look, there's the word there. You're struggling. You can sit as long as you can in your energy, and then you'll lose that space. Any Buddhist to tell you that. Anyone to tell you it's very difficult to maintain a space. That's the thing. And that's what you're working on. Maintaining and creating a space. Be me on a whole, different to the human. I've created a space. There it is. It's the be me. It's a different space to this one, the human. Who or what affects your energy? Come on. So, come on. Cayman is talking to Dewey. Right, okay, internal bliss, sacred. I'm getting it now. I'm getting the jargon. I didn't see that at. Right, so that's at used lot. So, Celtic Dragon, done Dewey. Where we gone? Harry says, right, Zanara. Right, Zanara says, Trevor, what shift are you talking about in the title? This shift that happened a few days ago when you felt an energy shift, and it might have took you into the place that went, what's that? And why do I feel like that? And I feel like I've got that old energy back. You should have, or ever felt the shift. There was a question there that needs to be answered. And so therefore your thoughts and your energy should have gone to that place and maybe have got a ha-ha moment that went, I needed that. So there was a shift. So there was an ending to something. So did anyone end something that feels like, oh my God, I got to the root of that bleeding problem? Because you're always communicating with yourself. You've got to understand the self, and you've got to understand that subconsciousness and thoughts and emotions, the traps, all of these things. Harry, when I went through the dark night of the soul, it literally felt like hell. It is. It felt like I was all alone. You were. And going crazy. You did. And everyone thought I was crazy. They will. That's the dark night of the soul sitting right there. Hence Bemeism. But see, Bemeism came from what you've just written now. Bemeism was written in that moment of hell because it was hell getting to heaven. I thought that's what my book was going to be. It possibly can be that, but it was, to me, I used to look at it and think, God, you call this spiritual? This is bloody more like hell. But because I got Bemeism on the outside of it all, that soul was really literally having to go through that hell to get to heaven, because that really is the truth of it. You're breaking through the barriers of darkness and you're breaking through the demonic realm, you're breaking through the energies, you're breaking through the darkened spirits, you're breaking through your belief system, you're breaking through the education system, you're breaking through all religious ideologies, you're truly breaking through because you know you're finding your way back to feeling connected. And if you earn the rights to get through that dark night, then you earn that right to sort of stay in that place that says, do you know what, I earned this title. Nothing was given for me to be able to speak and do and feel and heal and speak in the way that I do. So yes, you are definitely, when you went through the dark night of soul, so you've got through, yeah? Have you got through? Are you being with it now? Okay, Zanara, thanks. Okay, Ellie Wynn. Ellie Wynn, where have you gone? Right, went for the dark night of the soul. Ellie Wynn says, be healing as opposed to doing healing. Yes. Know that you are healing. Know that you can be healed, and talk to that intelligence. The intelligence will completely know what the energy, the frequency you're giving it, you know, because it's the whole system heals. It's doing it every single day of your life until it doesn't want to do it anymore. But it's always forever healing. It's just that we are the destruction to it. You know, you might as well go and buy an Apple Mac laptop and try to work it and set it all up underwater. Celtic Dragon, did anyone see that anglerfish TikTok famous right now? It stays on the bottom of the dark ocean. It has its own light. It knew she was dying, so she swam to the surface to see the light. Okay, I haven't seen that, no. Celtic Dragon, yes, saw that too. Right, okay. So at some point I'll get to see that. I did, Sonara says I did have that shift. Yeah, there should have been a moment that really got you to a question of the energy that you've been feeling and have been feeling for a long time. Wishmaster says our energy may be moving in opposing directions, but we meet at 0 point where the X meets at its center point. That's the B point for me. This is the happy place. Yeah, up and down, middle. Find the middle way. Zentsu says, I felt sadness. Yeah, I ended a cycle 2 days ago. Healed massive emotional wound. There you are, see? How would I be speaking about it and you're doing it, see? That's the connection. We're all connected in certain things. Seeker, Trevor, did you feel angry perhaps after your dark night? Like after some things came up from your past? No, not some things. Everything came up from the past. And that wasn't after the dark night of the soul. That's during the dark night of the soul. And as for angry, oh yeah, intense angry. But the reason why it was intense angry is because I had that energy hidden, that was within me anyway. You know, I grew up with a lot of anger. And so for me to be able to become the healer, to be able to speak the speaker, balance my emotions, you know, it was hard for me because I carried a lot of anger. So I was already that in the first place. And then after that, no, I didn't have that. Like some things come up from, no, the whole shit came up. The whole thing had to be looked upon. All of it, and it was all making me angry because I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere, but I didn't know that the journey was about going backwards when all I was doing was trying to go forward. All right, we're going to come to an end soon. 10 minutes, half 9, 10, oh, it's amazing. Right, 10 minutes time, guys, so get your questions in. It looks like I've answered everyone. Yeah, that's a big one. You will definitely feel angry with self. You'll feel the energy of it. It's a killer. It's that's the destroyer of everyone's energy field right there, and immune system. Just that one word, angry. So when you look at it as experience and you can see all the angry points of it, get to the point where you say, okay, listen, I just have to heal that one word, and it's called angry. And then that will bring up all the stuff. But that's what you need healing is angry. Zanara, why do we choose the difficult dark night of the soul in the human experience? Why do we choose the difficult dark night of the soul? I didn't feel like I chose it. Something chose me to go through it to remind me of. Now, possibly I chose that before I came here, because looking upon it, how it's been represented, to me, I've always looked upon it as being a reminder. Did you forget something? And that put me back into the connection. So I would say that for me, for my own peace of mind, that sort of goes, that gives me more sense if I say that I chose that and this to happen. For me, it makes complete sense when I sum it all up. But, you know, I wouldn't have chose that as my soulful self. As I said, the human programming gets you to forget who you are. And then the dark night of the soul is to remind you who you are. And then the Be Me experience is to be who you are and not who you used to be. Right, okay, everybody. I think I've answered everybody's questions. That went so quick. I say it every time, don't I? So hopefully everyone got something from that. Right, I'm going to wrap this up. Oh, Sacred Beholder, what's up, Trevor? In the beginning of my awakening, your videos helped me because I could sense truth in them. Because they was true. I didn't make them up for a good idea. Your videos helped me because I could sense truth in them, but also terrified me because I could sense truth in them. Yeah, it's very terrifying. It terrified me. And I was writing it, and I was going through it, and I was getting the message of it. It frightened the shit out of me. So I understand. And there's a truth behind it as well, you know. That's why a lot of people that are on the spiritual journey, a lot of other souls will stay away. And the reason being is because that soul knows that your soul is growing, and it knows that it should be doing something about it with you. But it says, I'm moving away from that. That's why people move away from you, because they just don't want to know. And that's why you get some people just look at you as you're crazy, and you feel their energy turn away from you. So I get that now. I understand it. Yeah, I can see the truth in them, but also terrified. Yeah, thank you for that. But yeah, it is truth is terrifying. And the reason being is because we've believed the lie is the truth. And then when you hear something that feels really true, that's your body resonating. That's when you know the truth. And that's why that's a ha-ha moment. But slowly, you'll understand it. Because all you've got to do with everything that I say, in the statements that I make, you've got to just say to yourself, you know, there's balance in my emotions. Can it really work? Well, you won't know until one tries. But what I know is it really works, because I come from that angry emotional place all of my life. So for me to get to the place that has understood my gift, my message, in 3 letters, be me, and 3 words, balance my emotions, or battling my emotions, when I never thought that was possible, and that was scary because it was true. The body, you'd have to look at the body and go, shit, you know, I'm really battling my emotions. Is that the truth? If you say yes to that, then that's the truth. So what's the answer? So I say to you, well, it's about balancing your emotions. Now you have to find out whether or not that's true. I can give it to you as a truth. Maybe you sense it as a truth, because surely wouldn't it be feel good if you went from battling to balancing? That's magic. Everyone would like that magic potion, or a pill to pop every week or every night or every day or 5 times a day, whatever they do nowadays. Is ignorance more blissful? No, not at all. No, that's just a no. I'm not going to get into that, but but if you think it is, or you think that it's blissful for them, then to them maybe it is blissful. But to me, it's called unconscious, and it's when they get to the other side, it's going to be a complete waste of life. They didn't do what they said they was come here to do. They failed their mission, technically. Right, okay, I think we've got it all. Any more? Let's go to the bottom. Let's go to live chat. Right, your videos feel peaceful, like you know the answer to our problems. It's because I went through the problems, and that's why I can explain the problems as simple as I possibly can, that simplifies 10, 15, 20 years. You know, if someone simplified the answer and said, Trev, look at it this way, and maybe that's it, and I would have gone, all right, do you know what, that feels right, what you've just said. And I would have gone along with it. But of course, I didn't meet anyone. Right, so we've ended cycle. Seeker, Trevor, did you feel angry? Yeah, I've done that. Right, guys, I think this is it. I shall see you next time. Your videos feel very peaceful. Yes, it took me a long time to become very peaceful in that manner. Very concise in what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to speak, what I'm trying to teach. And what I'm trying to teach is only what I know. And what I know worked for me. So I'm hoping that it'll kind of work for you as well. Thank you, Trevor, for being here and this topic. There's lots of topics in there. If you look at it, you know, that's what's very hard for me when I have to put a thumbnail or I have to put what's the topic about. I mean, it's vast, really. You can probably take out many sections of what I've covered about many, many things. So sometimes I think the title lets it down of what people will expect in it. But if you listen and find some bits in it, there's golden nuggets at separate points in the journey. But it will all be based upon shifting energy. People have been shifting your energy for a long time. You've been shifting your own energy for a long time. We all feel them shifts. Some of them shifts come at points when we think, I don't understand why I'm feeling that. And so therefore we wait for the shift to happen again. But the shift is a real thing. Even with walk-ins, I can feel a shift. Even if a messenger guide comes in, I can feel the shift. When I do mediumship, I feel the shift. I can feel the energy in the room. I feel the shift. I feel a question and the answer comes into me. I feel the shift. You become very sensitive and more aware to your soulful self. It is a massive shift. Oh, Florentine, sorry I missed your live stream. Well, you can watch it. Leave a comment. As I said, leave comments. Otherwise, it looks like nobody's watching them. And I'll look at them and say, well, nobody's watching them. Leave comments in there because I do read them. And it gives me ideas about what to speak about. Like the third eye I spoke about earlier on came from a comment in there. So I spoke about a few things in there that was in your comments. And that just gives me something to spread with the Beame community. I think it's the first time I said that, isn't it? It's the Beame community. True, many topics. Yeah, life is a topic. And so Florentine says, what you're saying is I should surrender to this dark, heavy energy. Sit with it. Try not to fight it, because that's the dark, that's the battle. So you got to sit with it and just let it bring to you what it's doing. But be in awe of how that energy is making your entire system. Become very aware. Step back from it for a little bit and realise that, hold up here a minute, what is this heaviness? I'm not creating it. It's in there. Sometimes it can be messenger guides or guys that come close. It's very much a spiritual energy. But understanding it within yourself is the question mark, and it's a teacher. And it's getting you to question, but it's finding the right question. But if you sit with it, it's no threat. But if you fight it, it becomes the threat, and it will win. So just sit. Just sit. As I said, I wish somebody told me that a long time ago. I wouldn't have gone through what I'd gone through, because ultimately that is it. So you're not surrendering to it. But what you've got to realise is, if you sit to it, you can call that surrendering. But if you sit with it, it's got something to tell you. Don't think the darkness is bad. It's a bloody good teacher, because you have to initiate from your darkness teacher to initiate to the light, or to be the light. It's an initiation. Florentine Rodriguez... experimental. Florentine Rodriguez, it's your energy to unravel and understand, for it to shift. Yeah, true, many topics. Right, that's it. I'm going to call this one a lovely evening. I shall speak to you very, very soon. Be aware of your shifts, because shifts happen. I'll see you on the other side.